I used to be all about the box set. I used to think that the box set was the ultimate in what you could have for DVD, but now I'm not so much enjoying them. They take up a lot of space, and you can do just as much with just a nice, slim case with 6 spots in it. That said, there are some box sets that are so nice that I just can't bear to part with them. One of them being Rambo. I did talk about First Blood once. I did when I did my top 100 favorite movies. I talked about First Blood. We're not going to talk about First Blood, though, today. We're going to talk about the lesser of the Rambo movies, and that is Rambo 3. I don't know how many people would consider Rambo 3 to be their favorite. It is not mine. Released in '88, Rambo 3 is, first of all, an oddly titled movie. I guess they didn't want to call the series First Blood like First Blood 2, First Blood 3, First Blood 4. It's like, how many firsts could there be in the series? I hear that they're going to call Part 5 Last Blood, which... Anyway, so Rambo 3. Stallone comes back, of course, to play John Rambo, Vietnam vet struggling with PTSD. After the events of the second movie, he now lives in Thailand and lives in a monastery and does brutal fighting to make some money. And along comes Colonel Troutman, once again asking Rambo to accept his fate as sort of the ultimate killing machine of, the ultimate warrior. And Rambo turns him down, and Troutman goes off on this mission to Afghanistan and gets captured, and so Rambo decides to go and try and save him. This is, of course, a movie that nowadays a lot of people have a problem with because politics have changed a lot, and Rambo going and helping out the Mujahideen doesn't really sit well with a lot of, especially Americans now. I mean, after, 80 years that we've been fighting the war in Afghanistan? I mean, it feels like that. And really, that's not my problem with the movie. Politics change. The politics were fine at the time. And really, the movie is dedicated ultimately to the people of Afghanistan, which, if you've got a problem with the people of Afghanistan, then, and not just the sort of people that we're fighting, although even that to me is questionable, but, if you're just prejudiced against an entire race of people, that's kind of messed up, but, so it's not really the politics that bother me. It's not the politics that make Rambo 3 a weak movie. What makes Rambo 3 a weak movie is, first, it is generic as all hell. It's just a bad action movie. I mean, the action is laughable. Some of it's fine, some of it's fun, but it goes way over the top. I mean, when you look at sort of the trajectory of the series from the first movie to the third movie. When I was growing up, it was the Rambo trilogy. I mean, I know now we have a fourth movie and a fifth movie that's about to be made. But when I was a kid, it was the Rambo trilogy, and it was an odd place to end. And now it just feels like a random Rambo adventure that's disconnected from the rest of the movies. I don't like Rambo in the desert. It just feels weird. I mean, Rambo in the first two movies in the woods, or in the jungles of Vietnam, that felt where he was going. It was him. I mean, whatever you want to say about the second movie, this sort of jingoistic Reagan era '80s action movie that the second movie was, it felt like a a little bit more of a natural continuation of the first, having him return to Vietnam. This one is just sort of a random. Now it's just a random. Sort of, if there was a Rambo cartoon show when I was a kid, Rambo: The Force of Freedom. This feels like a random episode of that. It doesn't make a ton of sense why he's there. The mission he's on doesn't make a ton of sense. What they're trying to accomplish. And Stallone really takes it too far with just barely speaking. It really is sort of, it typifies, I think, a subpar Stallone action movie. So, yeah, I mean, I would give Rambo 3 2 out of 5 stars. It's the weakest of the 4 movies, and it's just an overall kind of disappointment. But the box set is awesome. I will at some point, I'm sure, talk about the other movies, but the box set is chock full of special features and all sorts of bonus content, and I'm looking forward to, at some point, slipping the 5th movie into this nice collector's case and completing the Rambo saga. So, again, that's 2 out of 5 stars for Rambo 3.